And as I mentioned, Mike and I have two different backgrounds. He took the professional route as far as in his career with becoming a dentist and a very high level dentist, being an endodontist. And I took more of the entrepreneur, self employed, living wherever I want, being outside of the country. Two different lifestyles and backgrounds, but we make a really, really good team. And that's, again, as I mentioned in a previous module, this is a team sport. The beautiful thing about self-storage and other commercial asset classes is that you don't have to do everything yourself. When you're buying a house and you only get $200 cash flow, it doesn't make sense to have multiple people in it because it's such a small asset. But when you're dealing with larger $500,000, million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million deals, it makes it a lot more sense. So for me, I knew I wanted to get into commercial, but I didn't know which one I wanted to get into. I looked at assisted living. I took 4 months to study all of these asset classes. I looked at mobile home parks. I looked at multifamily, even took a multifamily 3-day boot camp. And at the end of the day, though, I decided on storage facilities. And there's multiple reasons why I did. Part of the reason is because of the multiple exits that you can have. You can sell it for a nice profit. You can refinance and then pull out all the cash and then just keep on letting it cash flow. You can hold it forever and build equity and cash flow and just keep on optimizing it. Another thing that I really like with storage facilities is that the operation simplicity of it. Now, when I say simple, I'm not talking easy, but there are a simple amount of actions and tasks that need to be done by either you or by somebody else, ideally. And once those are figured out and you have somebody that's dependable, there really isn't any type of, it's not brain science. There's multiple things that will continue to come up. And then you get some black swan things, people breaking in units, the gate breaking, these type of things that happen in any type of business that, you got to handle and take care of. But when it comes down to it, on a day-to-day, even a week-to-week basis, there's not too many surprises. And it's the surprises in real estate in general, that is what can really take somebody out of the game or really set them back because they have these things that, they didn't know. They have a tenant that just destroys all of their house and it, takes, $30,000, $50,000 to fix it up and it's only worth $60,000. There's all types of different things that happen when you're dealing with tenants and people trashing your houses and normal residential tenant landlord type of problems. And you don't have those same type of problems when you're dealing with storage customers or when you're dealing with storage challenges. So it is very simple. It's not easy, but when you put in the right processes and systems, these things can just roll really smoothly, and you can have not passive income, but it's more passive than other types of real estate models. So the goal is to become great at finding deals and then add on from there. More pieces, the more things that you do, the bigger piece of the pie. That's what's so cool about commercial real estate is that you say, okay, I'm going to find the deal, I'm going to finance it, or I'm going to find the deal and I'm willing to manage it. Each different section of what the operations or what you're going to do with the deal or how you're involved with it, you get a different percentage. So the more that you do, the more that you take on, or the more that you and your staff take on, the larger piece of the pie that you do, all the way from doing the deal from start to finish. But the beautiful thing, again, is with self-storage, at the very start, if you just focus on getting good deals under contract, all of the rest will be figured out. You'll find people that will lend you the money. You'll find people that you could partner with that can help you with that raising the cash, with managing the facility, whatever it is that you don't want to do. You find a good enough deal, you can find somebody else to do it, and you take a piece of it. So why else do I like self-storage? First of all, it's an absolute huge industry. There's over 55,000 facilities. And again, it does not take 20, 30, 50, 100 facilities in order to change your life. A few facilities, and depending on the size of it and the opportunity, but if you do it the way that we teach you and you find quality, off-market, value-add deals, it only takes a few facilities to absolutely change your life. So that's one of the big, beautiful things about this is like, oh man, Colin's bringing all these, new coaching clients in, and teaching all these skills. Is it going to get saturated? Absolutely not. 55,000 storage facilities, and it only takes a few to absolutely change your life. So the market is huge. It's absolutely gigantic. There's more self-storage facilities than there are McDonald's and Starbucks combined. Think about that. You know that there's Starbucks and McDonald's on nearly every main city that you go to, and sometimes multiple of them, depending on how big the city is. And there's more self-storage facilities than both of those combined, okay? Think about that. So another big thing is that it is recession resistant. We know that the economy is going into a downturn. It already is. Inflation is out of control, or at least it was out of control. It's getting a little bit tamed down. Rising interest rates, money becoming harder to get. Banks losing and shutting down, having issues with liquidity, and they're going to only continue to have more issues, it looks like, as the year continues to go on. But there's lots of challenges, and so that's why this is such an amazing time to be a part of this business, is because it is a downswing. And the last crash that we had, the recession in 2008, self-storage performed better then multifamily, then commercial space, then office space, then mobile home parks. It did better than every other asset class, and you can look that up. Self-storage is recession resistant because with uncertainty, people need storage. Storage is one of those things that people don't get if they don't need. It's something that you get when you need it. And when you need it, you need it. There's not a question. It's like if you have things that you want and you don't want to throw out or sell and you don't have space for it, you need to get a self-storage facility. And that's why by utilizing proper supply and demand metrics, we know that if we buy a self-storage facility in a certain area and we know how much supply, how much additional storage that there is, and we make the phone calls to the competitors and they're all full or close to full, we know from a very short period of time that this is an area that we want to invest in, and that the supply and demand numbers is not, it's not rocket science. It is very simple to figure it out. And the beautiful thing is that uncertainty in times of depression, or recession, when people are losing their jobs, when people are having to move, when people are moving in with friends or family,